Warning: use of rebuildable atomizers can be dangerous. No one involved with the making of this video will be held liable for any damages that may occur during the use of any build. Please understand the limit of your battery, device, and atomizer. Stay within the limits and leave yourself a safety margin. Building too low may harm some devices, atomizers, or batteries. Attempt at your own risk.
Okay guys, so I'm setting up a less than $100 cloud chasing rig. Now this isn't going to win you any competitions by far, but I did get this stuff in. I want to talk about it. I got the Clopper T8 and I got Mutation version 2 clone. Now both of these came from a China source. They came from CigABuy.com, CigABuy.com. Now I'm going to have links below, but the Clopper T8 was $86.94. The 9-hole air rebuildable atomizer, which is the Mutation X version 2 clone, was $9.45. Brings the total to $96.39. I have not opened these. I did take the cellophane off though. Now in the Clopper T8 came the VIP Clopper card, so I got that there and I've got that moved out of the way. Unboxing the T8 first. You got a user manual. Let's see what it says. Goes from 7 to 150 watts. Output voltage goes from 1.5 volts to 7.6 volts. Output current goes to 20 amps. Atomizer resistance is 0.15 to 4 ohms. Input voltage is 6.6 to 8.6. Input current is from 0.5 amps to 20 amps. Supposedly runs at 95% efficiency. So that's the user manual. I'm a real vapor, I'm not going to read the rest of it. Notice, for safety and consideration, T8 cannot be charged by the USB. The USB in the package is for connecting to a PC. To get the best vape experience, we suggest a 0.5 to a 0.8 ohm atomizer when using the T8. Well, I'm going to be vaping much slower than that, sorry guys. You got a screwdriver in there. You have a USB cable they were talking about for hooking up to the computer. Yeah, that goes by the wayside. What is this thing? You have a little pill case looking thing. Let's see what's inside of it, if anything. Inside of it you have some screws and some magnets. Put that out of the way, I won't need that. So let's get the actual device out itself. I went with the silver finish. That's everything that's in the box. So there's the Clopper T8. Finish on it's nice, perforated back. Buttons feel good, they're soft clicky. 510 is a standard 510. It's got a little bit of well around it. The back is held on by magnets. Comes off pretty smooth and pretty simple. You have space for 2 batteries. Now on here they do not have positive and negatives marked, but we all know negatives go towards the spring. So I'm putting a matched set of VTC5s in here, and I get a boot up screen that says Clouper. Set for 7 watts on the screen. Hold it down, it starts scrolling, and it scrolls faster. Does not auto scroll when I let go. So let's see if it round robins though, because I'm going a lot higher than 7 watts. Does not round robin. So I'm going to hold it and take it all the way up. This could take a minute. Now on the screen it looks like it also reads your resistance as well as your voltage. It has a puff counter and the temperature of the operating board as well as the charge status of the batteries. So apparently I'm running at 23 degrees Celsius on the processor board. I've got it turned to 150 watts. We're going to set it down. And let's open this second box. So pull it off. It's got on the front rebuildable atomizer, silver. It's a Mutation version 2 clone. So in here, pulling all the goodies out of the box. Getting that out of my way. You have extra O-rings, one of the little blue screwdrivers, and 2 screws. I believe this is so you can use a standard 510 drip tip on there. And we have the clone addy right there. So first thing I'm going to do is screw it on to see if there's any resistance. It says check atomizer, so that's working good. We're going to take this apart. Oh my, they actually have a build in there. Huh. This is pretty. Now that worries me because it says check atomizer. I'm going to pull their wicking material out. We'll actually try to use their coils. Check atomizer. Check atomizer. Well, how about that? I will check that atomizer. So I have my rebuild kit here. Let's see what that atomizer is set to. Atomizer set to 0.18. It should fire. I touched the coils, nothing moves. It's a 4 wrap, it looks like, of 24 gauge. It's kind of an interesting setup. Let me get my build case out of the way. I do have a MacLeod here with me. Going to take off my addy from the MacLeod, which happens to be authentic Mutation X on a Vulcan deck. Let's see if this will fire up on the MacLeod. Screwing it down. Making contact. Adjusting for battery height. Hey, well, you know, it fires straight up. That actually does not look bad for a China build. Well, let's see if my addy will fire on here. Okay, so something between there and there is not liking each other. So let's go through the normal culprits. Sorry about the washer machine running in the background if you can hear it. Ah, I see what might be the problem already. And sorry about the girlfriend in the background as well. The pin on the clone sets a little higher than the authentic. So, let's get my first edition back on the MacLeod. And let's start playing with this thing, see if we can make that adjustment there for it. Now, the Clopper T8 did come with a screwdriver. Inside the 510 there is a screw head, so let's see if we can back this out some. I can, and let's see if we got contact now. We have contact! And it's firing. Coils look a little uneven, so I'm going to even them up just a little bit. I am going to vape off of China coils, oh noes. We'll see how this does. Okay, they're both lighting at the same time. Looking good. Reading 0.16, and it says it's pushing 4.9 volts. So let's check the math on that real quick. So 4.9 times 4.9, 24 divided by 0.16. It's 150 watts. So if that's truly what it's doing, it's doing it right. So let's put a meter on it and see if this thing is pulse width modulated or not. I have a little inline voltmeter. I know it's not as accurate as an oscilloscope, but when I fire it over here, it says check atomizer. Yay. Okay, so the screw down on this is going to be a little annoying, I can see already. So, not a problem with CigABuy, but the design of the T8, I don't like having to back that out for different height addies. Now, during the day, if I'm just vaping the same thing over and over and over, okay, so the issue is not the height on the T8. I apologize about that. It's on the Mutation X clone. It's so high that my ohm reader can't hit it. Alrighty then. Well, we'll come back to their 9-hole atomizer. That's not the star of this show. That's going to get set aside for a couple minutes until I can finish with the T8. Good working build that I know is there. Let's see if it's putting out what it's saying it's putting out. Okay. Saying it's putting out 5.5 volts. And it is pulse width modulated. All it's doing is flashing at me. And vape feels alright, so let's get this other thing working. So T8, first opinion of it, only thing I don't like is having to screw the 510 connector. Fit and finish, it feels good in my hand. It's not picking up fingerprints real bad. Everything kind of makes sense where it's at. I didn't have to read too much on the instruction manual. Let's get this bad boy working now. Shorted. Well, let's throw it back on the meter. Maybe something happened when I put it on and pulled it off. 0.16, it's still reading right on the meter. Shorted. Shorted. Now we just vaped it with the other addy on it. Okay, so we know that's good. Let's throw this back on the MacLeod. Backing this out. Now I did throw it on the meter. Ah, we have a hot coil. Again, this is the China build. This is not my own personal build. So if you do get this intending to vape it right out of the box, expect to have to build a coil first. Don't think it's any big surprise that I'm going to say that. And I popped the coil. Great. Okay, let's get the China coil out. Y'all wanted to see a build anyhow. Screws come off nice and easy here. And out comes the China coil. We'll go ahead and pull the addy off the mod. The center post does not spin, so that's a good first sign. Post holes are nice and wide. I'm going to grab a 510 seat to throw this thing down on and clean up my work area just a little bit to get some stuff out of the way. Okay, there we go. So, grabbing me off a good amount of 22 gauge Canthal. Handy dandy toenail clippers, snip. I'm going to wrap some micro coils for this. This is what I normally run on my cloud chasing setups. So, and I'm going to grab my hemostats. Put it up against there. Hook on the hemostat to the end. Pull her tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Snip that off. Back out the first wrap. We have our first coil. Second coil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Snip that off. Back out that first wrap. Get the tools out of my way. And let's install. Okay, first coil's in. Gonna pull the drill bit just to get myself a little more room. Second coil's in, or not. This is where it doesn't want to cooperate. Rebuilds are always harder on camera. So first one's in. Second one is in. I'm going to tighten these down a little bit. These do have very, very large post holes. I could put a quad coil setup in here if I wanted to, but I'm just doing one of my standard builds for this one. If this atomizer works at all, it's going to be very fun to play with. I can already see. I like the design of it. I like the post holes. I like the split post. It's all working for me if the airflow works out on it. That's a big if. Now, I'm twisting these and getting them up a little high. And I'm going to take my pliers and move them to where I want them. Pulling my leads straight up to get them out of my way. In and twist and in. Pulling the leads up to get them out of my way. And let's go ahead and tighten this thing down. We'll do some last second adjustments once I get it nice and snug. Okay, so I want my coils horizontal, make sure they're not touching the post, and kind of in and kind of high. Excellent, that looks good. One last twist just to make sure everything is nice and seated. We're looking good. Okay, so no wires are touching. We're going to go on the ohm meter. Now this is a regulated device, so I could throw it on the device and see what it says, but I trust my ohm meter a little more. 0.12. Should be able to handle that. Should. We'll find out here momentarily though. Onto the Clopper T8, and it says shorted, 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 shorted. Let's fire it up on the MacLeod. 0.12, I am within the confines of my battery, so I'm okay there. We'll pulse it in on the MacLeod. Even up those coils. What I'm doing is whatever one glows first or the brightest, I'm squeezing and compacting that until they light up from the inside out, both at the same time. Beautiful, just like that. There we go. Okay, we're going to take and pull this off of the MacLeod. Let's still see if it thinks we're shorted. I'm using the pliers because those wires are still hot. I don't want to burn myself. Back onto the T8. Okay, it's reading. Pressing the button and it is lighting up. Excellent. Couple little last adjustments to make sure everything's looking good on it. Tightening it down. Says it's firing at 4.8 volts. Now, we saw that my first one did not read it. Let me see if I have a multimeter handy. Okay, I do not have my multimeter out here, but in the full review, I will definitely hit it, and I'll also be updating that on Facebook quickly. Trimming off my excess wire here, just to neaten it up. We're going to wick it, and we'll vape this stuff. Now note, I am going to vape this without washing it. I definitely recommend whenever you get an atomizer in to wash it out before using it. Seems like it's ramping just a little slow to me personally, but we'll find out. Let's wick this up. I got cotton bacon here, so this will run pretty easily. Holly. Going to get my wick set here. And in there we go. Pull it in, rip off the excess, twist it up. In we go. Pull it through. Rip off the excess. Let's tuck that down into the well. Now this does have a nice deep juice well underneath of it. Alrighty, and for the juice I'm going to be doing Wrath from Lotus e-cigs. We'll wet that down nice. Just filling up that juice well, and then we'll put a little on the coil. Now let's get this thing vaping. The vapor is coming off, so looking good there. I'm going to tighten up my screws one last time before I put the hood on, just to make sure they all feel good. Still putting off the vapor. Okay, so this feels a little lighter than the authentic, but not bad. And it has the slanted airflow, so you can shut off 3 dots per side at a time. Let's line this up, open her all the way up, and take a vape. First impression is not bad for $100, but to get a full review, I do need a little more time with it. I will check back in with y'all after I've ran with this for a while and let you know how it is. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
What you want?